Kitsy go sometimes, Kitsy go sometimes, Kitsy go, spirit. Hey, smart boy, what's up? It's a culture detective here, investigating your favorite and least favorite albums, and today I want to talk about the legendary Kid Cudi album, Speedin' Bullet to Heaven. So yes, I've been listening to a lot of albums from 2015, and I have to talk about this album. This album I have to talk about. So Kid Cudi, he's a rapper, and he is a talented rapper. Yes, and he is a talented rapper. He has style. He has a great sense of musicality. And he had albums up his sleeves like Man on the Moon, which features some moody hip-hop that's actually pretty nice. Then his sophomore album isn't really that great, but it's still not bad at all. And then his music just dropped in quality ever since Indie Cut, and also Satellite Flight, and then this album, and then a little bit better, I guess, would be Passion, Passion, Demon Slaying. After that, he actually got better after collaborating with Kanye West on the album The Life of Pablo on tracks like Father Stretch My Hands Part 1. His singing on that track is fantastic. His verses is great. And then, of course, we have the Kanye West and Kid Cudi collaboration project, Kitsy Ghosts, which is one of the best rap albums of the decade, because it's just so colorful, just so beautiful, the production is so nice, and the instrumentals are just shimmery, shiny, vivid, vibrant, artistic, colorful. Let's talk about this album. This, I hate to say this. I hate to say this because I respect Kid Cudi a lot as an artist, and I think he's really talented. I think he can really make some good music, but this album, it's, this is like one of the worst albums of the decade. Yeah, I'm not exaggerating. It's basically 90 minutes long of rock music, and not just any rock music, but sort of grunge rock, maybe a little punk. And he's a rapper, and I'm not saying that rappers can't make rock music too, but it's really obvious that rock music isn't his strong suit, and yet he, on this album, has to be the Black Kurt Cobain or something. This album is 26 songs long. 26 rock songs. 26 whack, sloppily performed, just mumbly, fumbly, migraine-inducing grunge rock from a rapper. Of course, the performances, they are just so painful to go through. The singing is far from being not bad. It's actually pretty bad. The lyrics, they're just pretty ridiculous, and the length of the album is already torturous. No one's gonna go through the entire album without actually skipping every song, because you are already gonna get a headache on the first 30 seconds of every single song. This album just gives you the worst musical migraine that you will ever have. And this isn't even like music so bad it's good. It's not like the Shags. At least the music that the Shags make are actually funny and they're good to laugh at. This one, it's just, it's like bleeding in the ears, and it's constantly punching your ears. It's like, you know, when he is making this album, I'm pretty sure that he had lost his mind. he had just gone insane. He's just gone off to the wild. He's just off the cuffs, off the rails. He's just like, he's just not there anymore. He's not Kid Cudi anymore. And then for most of the tracks on this album, it just ends off with a very annoying and disgusting Beavis and Butthead skit. This album, it's very bad. No, this album is actually very good. The lyrics, they are really profound and emotionally deep. So yes, as much as I don't want to, I am gonna talk about every track on the album, mentioning them. So the album starts off with Edge of the Earth / Post-Mortem Boredom, and it is such a slog beginning. It's such a... I know Kid Cudi was in a pretty depressed state when he's releasing this, and I feel bad for him, but seriously, don't release music if you're going through a hard time mentally, okay? Just cancel whatever albums or whatever musical projects you're on. Just take a rest, okay? Because this is what you're gonna release. This aimless, doodly guitar ballad where the vocals are basically mumble fumbles, and the guitars, they just go over and over and over again, and they seem aimless, and that's basically the whole song. And then we have a single, actually, and it's titled Confused with an exclamation mark. And it has some really ridiculous, goofy guitar riffs. Still not one of the worst tracks on the album. Admittedly, the song would have been better if the singing is better. The singing is just a... Who am I? Who are we? Who am I? Yeah. And then we have the third song, Man in the Night, which is actually one of the better tracks on the album, only because the guitar riff on the track is kind of deranged. It's kind of crazy. It's going up and down. And the vocals, they are a little bit more intelligible, but still, it doesn't take away from the fact that the performances are sloppy, the singing is half-assed, and the production, it tries to be abrasive and all, it tries to be like the microphones or something, but it just ends up sounding like a pulp of train wreck. And I guess one of the better tracks on the album also includes Judgmental Cunt. It has a very constant pumping beat, and it's wild, it's crazy, and Kid Cudi is yelling at your face, "You are just a fucked up kid!" And I guess it's one of the, more lively moments on the album, because every single other track on the album is just dead, and not even in the, dark and depressing way, and artistic way, but really in the boring, lifeless way. Well, it kind of makes sense. It sounds dead, it's lifeless, and it's boring. The track Screwed actually has a riff that may sound like it's gonna be interesting, except 2 seconds later, it just becomes this torturous, slow ballad and some faint vocals in the back. It's like... he sounds like Ed O'Brien and Radiohead singing Weird Fishes, where he's going, "Hey!" The track Adventures is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It has some abrasive guitars and has some low-key thumping drums, and the whole song is so low-key, and Kid Cudi basically whispers throughout the entire track, and we have some really ridiculously laughable lyrics like, "Her vagina is moist and warm, I'll keep you safe," and also, "No more chicken sandwiches, yes, I'll pay for the damages." And then we have Fade to Red, and this song, instrumentally, it actually has a potential to be good, because it is almost as thrilling has, I guess, judgmental cunt, except it just falls flat 30 seconds into the song. Similarly, we have the track Embers, which has a nice dreary, almost post-punky vibe. The guitars are it's kind of like losing its soul. But then that's basically it. It's just a slow, doodly nothing. And then we have tracks like Handle with Care, Red Sabbath, The Nothing, and Wedding Tux, where it's basically balladry without any drums, maybe some low-key guitars, like rough guitars, and some singing that sounds kind of drunken and sometimes muffled, like on the tracks Red Sabbath and The Nothing, and they really sound like nothing. They really sound like nothing. They sound like they're made up in 2 seconds. They sound like they're being made up on the fly while Kid Cudi is recording. It's just... And then we have the really annoying, repetitive grunge rock tracks like Fuchsia Butterflies, Fairy Tale Remains, and Amen, and they are absolutely obnoxious, unfortunately. Also, the track Fuchsia Butterflies, it sounds like 2 different songs being slapped on top of one another. The vocals and the instrumentals, they just don't fit together. They just don't go together at all. And Fairy Tale Remains, it has some nice punk rock drums, but then again, it's completely trashed with all the vocals and the production and the guitars and that pulp of nothingness. And the track Seance Chaos, it's ridiculous. Kid Cudi sounds like Eric Andre. Seance Chaos, Chaos. The title track is actually a soft rock track that's kind of abrasive, and it sounds like it's like a commercial, like an ad with a $1 budget. The singing is karaoke level, maybe a little worse, and it's sort of like this low-key pop ballad that's really awkward, and it just sounds absolutely ridiculous. And to make things worse, this album actually has the title track repeated. The title track is being repeated. It has 2 of the same songs on the album. The other one is the acoustic version. Yes, at the end of the album, to add insult to injury, he had to add 8 more demo tracks on the album. What for? And you know what? Fuck it. I'm not gonna talk about the demo tracks, except for the last one, because it's the ending to the album. It's titled Melting, and damn, what a boring way to end off the album. What a pointless, boring way to end off the album. It's just a blab of nothing. Yeah, overall, I do not enjoy listening to the album at all. It might be even worse than the Miley Cyrus album, which is already bad enough. This just, I don't know, man. It's just one endless migraine. It's 90 minutes long. Nothing about the album is right. I guess a couple riffs here and there have the potential to be okay, but then if you add the very bad singing to the equation, the very faux, abrasive, annoying production, the sloppy guitars and the sloppy drums, and the fact that we have 8 minutes of demos at the end, the entire duration of the project, this album is like a wasteland of migraine, a musical migraine, and no. It's a no for me. It's a no from me. I hate to say this. Again, Kid Cudi has talents. But I guess the moral of the story is that when you are mentally in a bad state, just don't release anything. If you're going through a hard time mentally, don't make music. Don't release music. Don't tour. Don't do anything. Just relax. Just talk to your loved ones. Enjoy life. Open new opportunities and windows. Relax. Entertain yourself. Don't do this. Don't make Speedin' bullets to heaven. Again, I respect Kid Cudi. And I think he's a good musician. But not when he's in such a low point. So yeah. Worst song. Worst song. Best song, Man in the Night. I am giving Kid Cudi Speedin' Bullet to Heaven a 1 to a 0 out of 10. A 0. Zilch. Yeah, first 0 on my channel. Historical. So, have you listened to this Kid Cudi album? From 1 to 10, how much did you rate it? Like if you like it, hate if you hate it, and subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching.